a residual is the observed minus the predicted. The observed is the one that they give you. The predicted is the one that you get from the least squares regression line. Remember, your least squares regression line is your prediction line. And you want your points to be as close to that as possible. You want your residual to be as close to 0 as possible, because the closer the residual is to 0, the better the line is doing predicting, and that's what you want. Interpolation is when we predict inside the range. Extrapolation is when we predict outside of that line, okay? So that is a residual equals observed y minus predicted y. And then I rewrote it for you because I'm not sure why, but I guess I wanted to put it in letters for you. Y minus y hat. You guys, that's exactly what that means, is y hat. Okay, can you construct a residual plot from linear regression? So we're going to use our calculators today to do that. And then we're going to talk about a residual plot is a scatter plot for the regression residuals against the explanatory variable. So we're going to use the explanatory variable on our x-axis, just like we normally would do, but our residuals will be on the y-axis. And then residual plots help assess how well a regression line fits the data. Okay, here's a big thing. Your residual plot, and a lot of times on the AP exam, sometimes you won't have to create one. They'll give you one, so you have to know what it means. If your residual plot shows a pattern, like you can see a pattern. You guys, if you see a line in your residual plot, right? You shouldn't see a line. You shouldn't see a parabola. You shouldn't see anything. It should look like a no-form scatter plot. Right? It should be roughly around the x-axis. It should be around that 0. Remember, you want those residual plots to be as close to the x-axis as possible. If you see a pattern, then your data is nonlinear. And if it's nonlinear, then you shouldn't be using correlation. We shouldn't be using a least squares regression line. So the residuals plot should show, I don't know what that, yeah, that B should not be there. Should show no obvious patterns. The residuals should be relatively small in size. Is there a back to yours? Oh, thank God. Can you explain what is meant by the standard deviation of the residuals? We talked a little bit about that yesterday, and we talk about how that differs, right? So if you pull out that algae problem we did yesterday, it's the predicted level, or the predicted differ from the observed by an average of. So it's talking about that average, and I just want to show you how to get the standard deviation of the residuals. Oh, I see it. I got it. Thank you. Okay. At this moment in time, we need to pause the video and pause the time frame so that you have time to get up and get your books, because Miss Fleury forgot to tell you to get your books, because we're going to make a residual plot and look at some. So at this moment,